Well, we have a heads up for drivers in Knox County. If you're traveling on James White Parkway and I-40 this weekend, be aware of some upcoming road construction activities that are going to have a big impact on traffic. And of course, here to talk about all of that, what that means for the next few weekends, we have Mark Nagy with TDOT. So thanks for being here.
Of course, Katie.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this. What is this construction project going to look like at James White Parkway?
Okay, so these are bridge repair activities. This is very important work that we have to get done. It's called our state of good repair. We're trying to maintain the assets that we have. So with that in mind, though, we've got to have closures for James White Parkway. This is the part of the bridge over Jackson Avenue near downtown Knoxville. And over the next few weeks, you're going to have closures, a couple weeks southbound, a couple weeks northbound. So anybody who's going to be driving in this area needs to understand typical ways that they get around. They need to find some other ways to get around.
And I know that you all pick those weekends very strategically. You're not trying to do it throughout the week.
So I think that people sometimes think, well, why can't it just be done on a Tuesday? Well, you have many more vehicles on a Tuesday at 2 o'clock than you may have on a Saturday at 10 p.m. So we're trying to limit the impact on the motoring public as much as we can. The other concerns you have, of course, is that Tennessee, the education, the University of Tennessee is back open and the students are moving back in. You also have football games. So we can't get this work done, obviously, when you have 100,000 people trying to get down to the UT campus. So you're going to have a couple weekends southbound, one weekend northbound. You take a week off because you've Tennessee's home game opener against Furman, and then you finish up with one more northbound.
And of course, this is all weather dependent too. You guys were supposed to start this last weekend, but weather got in the way of that. So there's some contingencies that could happen.
Yeah, and Mother Nature didn't do us a favor last weekend. We hope that we get some favorable weather in the weekends to come, because if we don't, then this is going to push the schedule back even more. We take a look at the schedule, see how much rain that you're getting, how much rain is anticipated. A lot of work you can get done if it's only light rain, but if you have it for an extended period of time, then they could certainly make things more difficult, and then you have to make adjustments.
Yeah, and this is certainly something that you guys want to get done too, because those folks over in South Knoxville, they already have limited ways to get across the river.
Right. So I mean, you can still get across Hall of Fame Drive, Alcoa Highway, but in terms of the folks in South Knoxville, you have the Gay Street Bridge, but that of course right now is a pedestrian bridge. You have Henley Street, but there really aren't as many ways to get around. So we're trying to get this work done as quickly as we can. It's very important work to be done. We want to make sure that this is a safe bridge for folks to drive across, not only for years to come, but really for decades to come.
And that is so important, but it's also so important to remember whenever crews are out there to move over, give them the space to work.
Yeah, so by closing the parts of the bridge completely, the southbound this next couple of weeks and then northbound, you're able to make sure that these workers can get their jobs done safely. Far too often we see motorists going past work zones, be it pothole patching, bridge repairs, whatever it may be, and they're driving the way that they normally are. Well, that can be extremely dangerous when we're talking about a matter of only a couple of feet between these fast, heavy vehicles and human beings. So we're trying to make sure that these workers can get home safe to their families, just like we want everyone to.
Exactly. And if people want to read more about this specific construction project or even upcoming ones, where should they go?
So go to the TDOT website. That's at tn.gov/TDOT. Our newsroom has all of this information. If we have to have any updates, we'll place them there as well. And then in terms of real-time information, go to smartway.tn.gov. Terrific resource, gives you info 24/7 in terms of crashes, backups, whatever it may be. But obviously don't use that when you're behind the wheel.
All right, Mark, thank you so much for coming and chatting with us about this.
Of course.